Do you need anything from downstairs or anything?
I'm gonna eat these Junior Mints.
You want those
you.
Junior Mints? Junior Mints, the official candy of Love in Brief.
Junior
Fresh
Mints are
breath,
amazing.
fresh butt.
They, where are you putting the mints?
Welcome back to Love and Brief Part 2, as you can tell, not so brief ABDL podcast focused on issues of love.
Yeah.
And this time we're going right back in from hitting bottom into bouncing back.
Wow.
Welcome back, my friends.
I am so excited to have a two-parter here. That's
Two-parter.
an on-purpose two-parter. Normally,
Duh.
it's just that I just keep talking too long and I'm going to split it. But this one is for real. So if you're just now tuning in and you're like, what is this podcast? Don't listen to this episode. Go back one.
Yes.
Because this is part 2 of a two-parter. And none of this is going to make sense. It's just going to be a happy, it's like watching the first half of Sound of Music. It's all happy and terrific.
It is so happy.
And just don't
Yeah.
watch the second half.
No.
We did it the opposite way. Last episode, we talked with our guests, Bradley and Elektra, about what it was like to go through a really hard time of life and what we called hitting bottom, which is that moment that you're like, I've got nowhere else to go.
Yep.
Where do I go from here?
Yeah.
And I will recap. I'll try my best to recap. But again, I'm going to do an inadequate job. So just go back and listen to the previous episode.
You got this, Daddy.
When we last heard from Bradley had been through a really difficult, abusive relationship, had left that relationship and fled with nothing but the shirt on his back, had decided to go out into the world as a person who's just going to practice Nilla practices and find that right person, had found an awesome person, had built a relationship, had gotten married, had kids, and realized that they just didn't have the spark in common that they needed and drifted apart. And when we last left Bradley, he's in his basement. He's been told the marriage is over effectively and you're starting over again. Bradley, how did I do?
That's pretty perfect.
Okay, awesome. And so that's the moment, that somebody realizes my entire life is about to change again. Again. I'm starting over. Elektra shared her story of getting into a relationship that was kind of pretty good, right? After coming out of another relationship, getting into this relationship that was kind of good. And people who love each other and they're trying to make it work. And over time, it becomes apparent that once again, what they need to really, really connect, sexually have that spark,
Intimacy,
as you put it, Elektra, just isn't there. And once again, realizing that you're just shutting down parts of yourself over time, over and over again. And going to that therapist appointment and telling that therapist, I need you to purge the ABDL or / kinks right out of me so that I can make this relationship work. And the therapist says, I cannot do that. It's just not how it works. Your life is going to have to change. Is that right?
Yeah, it's pretty well sums it up.
Okay, I know it's not even doing it justice, but I'm hoping everybody listened to the last episode.
Yeah.
And Lola, I know you shared your story of being with somebody since you were very young and having this dream marriage, building the exact marriage that your parents would want for you and that your partner's parents would want, and doing all the things and having all the things and really enjoying it at first, and then realizing that you were squashing down parts of yourself over time, even though you were married to somebody who loved you very much and that you loved back.
Yeah.
And that your true self was diminishing day after day after day until one day you realized, if I let this go on any longer, she, the joy-loving rainbow you, was going to be gone forever. And having to make a decision in that moment.
Yep.
Is that right?
And I went and stayed at a hotel by myself for the first time ever in my adult life because I just didn't know what the fuck to do.
Did you know that this was the reckoning? This weekend, something was going to happen.
Yeah. And if we really want to talk about, rock bottom and trauma and being miserable, I now, years after that now realize that I was also in an emotional flashback from having been with my family for Christmas and my past of being sexually abused and whatever. That was all literally hitting at the same time. And I was having, it felt like an out of body experience, but like I knew I was going to be gone. I was going to be gone. And I did not even physically know what to do with my body in that moment. Yeah.
That sounds torturous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty torturous.
Having the flashback of trauma and this life-changing moment intersect.
Yeah, because it's all part of you, right? Like all of this stuff was coming up. And of course it is, because you can't squash that shit forever. I am very good at smiling, but you can't squash that forever.
Yeah, and we know, and we talked about this before, that when you repress some of we're not that good at it, so we kind of repress a little bit of everything.
Exactly.
And when you let come to light some of you, other parts of you will come to light too, and that truth tends to show up. So that's where we're picking it up, friends, right in this moment, is at this decision point, at this inflection point. There's nowhere else to go. And we had called out right before the break that in this moment, you know what's at risk. You know that if you make a change, you're going to start over. And in many ways, lose everything you have and everything you've been building for a long time. Or if not lose it entirely, it's going to have to change forms and come to an end as you know it.
Yeah.
So let's pick it up there. And Bradley, we started with you. I'd love to come back to you. You're in the basement. You realize that everything is starting over. What are the first rays of light that you saw, and how did you begin to think differently about what was going to happen next?
Well, I'd kind of been repressed in my entire marriage. What is the term? Self-inflicted.
Yes.
I would. Nobody made me be repressed. I repressed it myself because of past failed relationship with the abusive one. The current one, I just said, I'm just going to be vanilla and everything's going to work out because I'm vanilla, right? Well, that didn't work out.
Yeah.
Shocking. Because I wasn't myself.
Right.
I wasn't myself.
Right.
I couldn't
Right.
actually be me. I
Right.
was censoring myself, and I'll never do that again. So, first of all, you have to be an adult. You kind of get, okay, what's the money situation? What's the kid situation? What is the life situation? Get that stuff straightened out. Get all the boring stuff. So that's what I did. I sat down, made myself a budget. I know this is exciting stuff.
Was there an
And
Excel sheet involved? I must know.
I'm a pen and paper guy.
Just say budget again.
Yeah.
Oh,
Budget.
that does it for you. And to each your own. No, so I got, like I said, all the adult stuff, all the boring stuff out of the way. And then I was just like, okay, now what do you want to do? I know. I want to go visit a professional dominatrix that does age play.
Oh,
That was the first thing that came to my mind. So
Yeah.
you know what?
okay.
Yeah.
Get off your ass and do it.
Heck yeah.
So, went to this newfangled thing called the internet and looked up all the old clubs that I knew were around. I'm like, okay, maybe I could visit some of those. And I looked at Munches. I had a FetLife profile that had been dormant for about 8 years. I dusted that off, and I just did some searching. And I went and searched about 7 or 8 professional dominatrixes. That one that would do age play. And then I settled on one because she was smiling.
Oh,
All the others were scowling.
yeah.
And I'm like, I've had women scowl at me. It's not fun.
You've already been through that.
Yeah.
I've been through that. So I made an arrangement, made an appointment. I did a phone call, told her exactly what I was after. And she said, that sounds amazing. Let's do that. And I'm like, awesome. Okay. So in between that, there was a local munch. Now that I have not been to a munch in forever. It was in my 20s, I think, the last time I went to a munch. I said, I'm going to go to this munch. And I promised myself something, that I'm going to be completely honest, which I had never been,
About who you are at the munch.
about who I about what I'm into. I was always skirting the issue because age play, ABDL, infantilism, all the buzzwords that it was when I was growing up and discovered was actually kind of looked down on, like Elektra was saying in the first episode. So when I went to the Munch, I sat down with some people. This was at the height of COVID, so there's like 8 people at the Munch.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And we're all masked and we're all kind of distanced.
Yeah.
So to have any kind of conversation, you have to make your voice kind of heard. So they did kind of a round table. And they says, okay, well, I don't know how to ask this. What are you into? So I said, well, I'm an ABDL. And everyone kind of looked. Some people tilted their head. Some people smiled. And I ended up talking to the ones that approached me. I'd even played with them later on within the age play realm. So, I mean, that was kind of invigorating.
When you said ABDL, did anybody's monocle fall off?
Did anyone clutch their pearls?
One guy tilted his head and he said, and what is that?
Oh.
Hey, you got to be the educator.
Hey, that's cool.
And I said,
Yeah.
oh, it's
Yeah.
adult baby diaper lover.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I've heard of that. That's cool.
Oh, wow.
I'm curious though, Bradley, in that moment when you were just like, I'm an ABDL, what did it feel like?
It was equal parts nerve-wracking and exhilarating. Because it was just kind of like a declaration that not I'm into this, not I'm curious about this, not, hey, maybe we could look into this. No, I am ABDL. Because I am. And I think that's the first time I've said it in a semi-public forum.
Wow.
And I'd said it previous to the professional dominatrix I was going to go see. That I'm ABDL, so this is what I'm interested in. And yeah, I made contacts, and like I said, I played with a few people down the road in the age play realm and various other things, and I still see them today.
Wow.
This was 2021.
Yeah.
This happened.
Wow.
Did you play with people that night?
No.
Oh, okay. I was going to say
just made contacts.
that's
Just
a
made
hell of a
contacts.
turnaround.
I was like, this sounds like a munch. I don't think it was a play party.
It wasn't a
but
play party,
I don't know.
okay.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe munches
No, I
are different in
wasn't that
Canada. I don't know.
Yeah, they don't work that way here. They don't allow that, the Denny's.
No.
Canada. Oh my God.
Contacts
The
and
IHOP is
coffee
like,
dates
please leave.
That's right.
and everything.
One of the things I love about this part of your story is that your first action was, I mean, a lot of people have different first actions, right? Some people say, I'm finally going to go back to college. And some people say, I'm going to jump out of an airplane. And some people say, I'm going to call that love from high school that I always regretted. You said, I want to call a professional dominatrix and really have the experience I've always wanted. Like chips on the table, I want to have the experience I've always wanted. And I think that is such a baller move.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I just realized that for most of my life, I'd put everybody else before me to make sure that everybody is as comfortable as I am. That was always just the rule that my father taught me is a gentleman makes sure that everybody in the room is as comfortable as they are. And I thought, thanks, Dad. That makes wonderful sense. But I don't know if I'm comfortable.
Yeah, right.
How about I put myself first for
Yeah.
once? And I did.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because your dad's advice to make everybody as comfortable as you were implies that you have reached a state of comfort.
Right.
Else
Right.
everyone else is uncomfortable. So you finally took the second half of the advice.
Yes. And oh my God, I've never been comfortable. Good
Yeah.
God.
But I can relate a little bit, Bradley, to that with a twist because I think
Okay.
my nature is I can't feel comfortable until everybody else is sort of situated and taken care of. And so my go-to move was to sort of make sure everything else was handled and done and whatever. And then with whatever was left at the end, then I could sit down, relax, enjoy whatever. And sometimes that end part never came. I just
Yeah.
didn't feel included. So I can totally relate to what you're saying of yours happened in the reverse order where you didn't feel comfortable in the first place. I think that I achieved my comfort level by making sure first that everybody else is taken care of. But sometimes there wasn't anything left at the end for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is so good. The progression of like, I cannot get rid of this part of me, so I'm going to lean in. 2, I'm actually going to meet other people and tell them, even if they reject me, I'm going to tell them because it's not like you were, in an inappropriate forum to do so. You didn't just yell it out at work. You went to a place where it was totally appropriate to share and declared, this is not a small part of me. It's who I am.
This is my best foot forward.
Yeah.
This is me.
Yeah. That's so powerful.
Yeah.
And I wonder I know there's been a lot of life since, but what was the impact of embracing that this is who you are? What has been the impact of embracing this is who you are?
It kind of made me realize how little I have to lose. I mean, everybody guards their secrets, and you should. Everybody has them. But when you realize if you do things in the proper space, in the proper forum, in the proper way, you really don't have much to lose.
Mm-hmm.
As I said, little sidebar, I was at an event once, and I was dressed in a T-shirt and a diaper, and I was watching 2 people play on a cross, and it was a dom, and he was using a single tail whip on his sub, and it was hot as hell, and I was just enjoying the show. Well, she unfortunately, or fortunately, however you feel it, got lacerated a few times. So after so much, the play stops because, we're getting dangerous now. And so the play was shut down, and there's kind of a crowd is built around this, just watching the show. And he turned around, and our eyes met, and he kind of looked me up and down and went, ugh.
Oh, okay.
And I started laughing. I started laughing.
Huh.
And he put his hand over his mouth. He says, I am so sorry. I am really sorry. I wasn't expecting. And I'm like, you think I'm weird?
Right?
And he started laughing.
You know what you just
and
did?
I said, you just whipped that young lady till she's bleeding.
Yeah.
And you think I'm weird?
Right.
Hello, kettle. You're pot. I'm
and
black.
he came over and he shook my hand. He says, I am so sorry. I am so sorry.
Wow.
I don't think you're weird. I think we're all fucking weird.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I'm like, yeah, we are.
Yep.
And this is the place to be weird. So,
Wow.
like I said, if you work within the realms and have fun
Yeah.
with it, you really have not much to lose. And if all it is a scowl or somebody asking you a question because they're curious, that's not much to lose.
Yeah. But you were able to have that moment with that person because you were like, yeah, this is me, and I know that I shouldn't be ashamed of this. Right.
And
And so
that's it.
he saw it and was like, oh, I'm so sorry. What am I even doing? Of course. Right.
Yeah.
It's just owning it. It's just
Exactly.
owning it.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
you're-
also a Steelers fan, so when people look at my Steelers jersey and go,
What?
ugh,
I need to end this call right now.
I was waiting for that. That was a bridge too far, I understand.
I'm going to yuck your yum. No, I do. I think you're right, Lola. Like, it was Bradley's own self-acceptance that was reflected back to
Yeah.
that person in that
Right.
moment.
Yep.
And that person went, oh God,
Oh.
what was that?
Exactly.
And what could be somebody's worst nightmare turned into a teaching moment
And like even a point of connection.
and a point of connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We're friends to this day.
Wow.
Is that right? Oh, that's so
I
cool.
love this story. Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Elektra, I wonder if I can take you back to your moment. You're sitting in the therapist's office, and the therapist has just said, not only can I not change you, no, not change you, but also I can't help you. Can't help
Gotta
you
get the number of that
change
therapist.
who you are, but that it's never going to happen. It's just not how this works. Tell us about what were the first rays of light that you saw, and what actions or steps did you take that then looked like bouncing back?
Well, it's interesting because kind of from that point on, we talked very little about kink. It just wasn't as relevant as I thought it was going to be. And I went weekly, and it would come up here and there, but it just really wasn't the core of the issue at all.
Yeah.
And so that
Yeah.
was interesting that was our turning point, he and I.
Yep.
But for me, I guess the beginning of the change was actually my ex-husband purchased for me some tickets to a dance party.
Oh,
That's fun.
I think he bought them initially with the intention of taking me to this party. That was my guess. But when that didn't seem like, there was no opening there, he said, here, why don't you take these tickets? Maybe you can take a friend or whatever. And it was a Dolly Parton dance party. And I am a huge Dolly Parton
That sounds
fan.
so fun.
It
What
was
the hell?
amazing.
I want to go.
I want to go right now.
Yeah, I want to go too.
Let's leave.
And there's a nightclub here that does themed nights, and this was one of the
Fun.
first. And
Aw.
so he gave me these tickets, and I called several of my girlfriends, and all of them were like, "Oh my God, I wish I could go, but I'm out of town, or I'm doing this, or whatever." So nobody could go, and so I just said, "Well, fuck it, I'm gonna go." And it was, you have to understand, So, Lola, I can relate to a lot of your story because you were talking about how young you were married and it all came from a religious background and stuff. I got married the day after my 21st birthday.
Wow.
I had been with my partner since I was 19 years old. We lived together within like a month of meeting. We had been together for, my marriage at the end was almost 25 years of marriage.
Wow.
So you guys can do the math and figure out how old I am. But I had never been alone. Ever.
Yeah.
Ever. And
Yeah.
when I first
Same.
separated from my partner, I moved into a little studio apartment with my cat, and I was alone. And I would go to bed at night, and it was quiet, and I would contemplate, and I would cry my guts out, and I just wonder, what am I doing? What have I done? So I decided this night I'm going to go to this party by myself. And I dressed up. I put on 3 push-up bras so that I could be as dolly as possible. And I went out and I danced, and it was amazing. And I stumbled out of there at the end of the night. And on my way home, I saw another little nightclub, and I went in. I ran into a friend. I talked with her, and she said, "Hey, you should come back tomorrow. There's a DJ that comes every Saturday. I think you'd really like him." And I was like, okay, So the next night, I played in my closet, which has been featured heavily on Tumblr. I played dress up until I found myself in an outfit I really liked, and I went to this nightclub, to this DJ alone. And he played disco music, and I loved it, and it became a weekly thing for me. I went out by myself every weekend. I wouldn't even go out until like after midnight because he would play late, and I would dance, and I would wear sunglasses because I really didn't want to be approached, and I really didn't want to feel insecure. And something about wearing glasses made me feel unapproachable and like kind of separated from everybody. So, because I'm a terrible dancer, let me tell you. But I wanted to just,
No one's a terrible dancer.
I wanted to move
you've
my
seen me
body.
dance.
And so often, of course, I was crying behind those glasses because I was going through this hardest moment of my life.
Yeah.
But it was this turning point of, I can do hard things and I can do them by myself.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I started going out
Yeah.
dancing, and then I went to concerts, and then I went out of town, and I just started
Yay.
doing all of these things and realized I'm fine.
You were dating yourself.
I was, and it's crazy
I
because
love
I
it.
came from this place where I was in a relationship where I felt so lonely, and I thought I really need something and someone, and I need more. And what actually ended up like healing me was spending all this time by myself, realizing that I'm okay.
Yep.
And I'm capable, and I can do all the things. In the meantime, in between the dance parties and the music festivals, I dove in wholeheartedly into my love of ABDL, diapers, age play, rattles, bottles, onesies, tutus, like you name it, I ordered it and it showed up on my doorstep. And I just had so much fun indulging in what I would almost at this point call a hobby. I loved to collect all of these things. I loved displaying them. I loved organizing my house to show them off at the appropriate times. I loved putting them on and taking photos and uploading those to the internet as anonymously as possible. And I loved when people would click the heart and give me a like, and it just gave me this dopamine rush, and it affirmed me. And I just grew from all of that. And maybe that's shallow, and maybe that's crazy, but there was something about it that was very healing and affirming, and I just needed that. I feel like in the last few months, because this month marks 1 year since my divorce was final, and it marks 3 years since I've been separated, which is mind-boggling to me. I can't even believe it's been that long.
Yeah.
So much has happened, and yet it feels like yesterday.
Yeah.
But in that time, I have run the gamut of, I have been all over the spectrum of ABDL and age play, and making friends, sharing this part of myself, and also integrating it into my real life where I don't always share every bit of it, but I'm a more open person overall. And I think that I have kind of settled into a place of balance that has been really calming and comforting. It's interesting that I've suddenly moved house. That all came about really randomly right before the holidays. And I think it was perfect timing because I needed the next step to start to happen. But I've learned how to let all of these little parts of the kinky part of me settle into the whole part of me. And I think back to when that therapist said, I can't take this one part of you away. It's all of it is you. Little you, big you, it's you.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've finally started to hit that point. And it does feel kind of like the angels are singing, the rays of light are shining down on me. And I don't know that I've ever felt so whole.
Oh, that's big.
Dolly is smiling at you.
I think Dolly
with
is
her
clapping for you
butterflies
somewhere right now.
and- Yeah.
I
She
think she
is.
would. I think she'd be okay with what I'm up to. You know.
I think
I
so
do
too.
too.
I love this. And again, much like Bradley did, the guts it took to go and just be alone, risk rejection, right? To risk that like you were going to feel dumb, somebody was going to make you feel dumb, whatever, to go do something you've never done before and potentially are even bad at. And to put yourself out there. I'm just seeing these commonalities of like accepting this is who I am, being willing to have the humility and the guts to go try something that you might fail at, but realizing you can't go back, right? You're never going back.
Yeah.
And then putting yourself out there. I think that is so inspiring.
That definitely,
It's a
you
duality.
You hit on
I
a
love
really
it.
good point of not being able to go back, because I think that in the most quiet moments, when I'm alone and I'm wondering, what have I done? Oh my God. And those don't just go away. Those hit all the time. And all the people that are affected by my choice, that weighs on me. I don't take it lightly, and I have never been flippant about it. But I think I had to be included. I had to be part of the equation. I couldn't always put myself to the end of when everybody else is good, then I can be good. I couldn't do that anymore. And it wasn't a matter of I won't do it anymore. It was a matter of I cannot or I will not survive. Much like how Lola said she felt like she was losing color. I felt like I was just losing myself. And I thought, well, then I don't want to do this anymore. There's no more motivation to keep trying to make everybody else happy. And even my job, my career, it's very much people-oriented, service-oriented. So no matter what I did in any space of my life, I was taking care of everybody else and just longing to be cared for. And I just think it's kind of ironic. And this is not to diminish the place that my friends have in my life, because I have a lot of people who love and care about me and have done a lot to help take care of me in my darkest hour. But I think what's interesting is that I really had to learn how to take care of myself. I really did. And that means on like a deep emotional level. I had to figure that out, or else I was never going to get anywhere. And I'm thankful that I did, with the help of my friends and my therapist and my diapers. I found my place in this world. And there were times where I thought, what have I done? And I just thought, well, there's no going back from here. There's only going forward from here. And that's just sort of informed everything I've done from those first dancing nights on.
Yeah. Lola, I could feel you resonating.
Well, there's something about, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
There's
please
something
go,
about
please
saying,
go.
About saying you can't go back.
Yeah.
And I've thought about many a time trying to put the genie back in the bottle. Like, okay, I've had my fun. Now but it's no, you know what? I'm having my fun. And I'm not going back because I was already there.
Yeah.
I've been there. I want to see what's new. What's next?
Right.
Yeah. And it's
And live with it.
It's one of the weird realities of life. And I think being a person over 40, you discover this, at least I have discovered this more and more, is that you actually can't go back. That even if you try and go back, that you can't. And that everything you've ever experienced made you who you are, but you can never go be the person you used to be either.
Right.
And so you only decide now and every day moving forward, what do you want to be today?
Well, you can take that person with you, right? because that person has served you and that person is you. And you can
Absolutely.
take that person with you. And then you also get to be like, hey, let me draw back this curtain. And it's like the color in The Wizard of Oz, you know, because you're still that, you know, sweet, beautiful child like we all are. And you get to bring that person with you now and be like, but look at all the cool shit there is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you would. I mean, would not be the person that I am without all of the heartache and the abuse and all of the hard shit that I've gone through. Right, like
Yeah.
that is us. That is who makes us ourselves. Right. So then it becomes a moment and a process of like, okay, how do I process this within the life and the truth that I want to live?
Yeah.
Right? Because that part isn't going, none of that is ever going away.
Right.
It's never going away. And I find it very interesting that it seems like, I know Bradley and Elektra and maybe you too are away, was like, well, you know, I'm not going back. I can't go back.
Yeah.
Right. But one thing for me that really helped in those first few months, heck, even the first year or two, was like, if I really want to go back, I can. Like there's not, that is also an option, right? Like if I want to go back to my marriage, I'm pretty sure I can.
Oh, I see. So you left the door
okay.
open a little bit.
Right. Well, I don't want to say it in that way because I was very clear and truthful with my spouse. Like I'm not happy and I don't want to see. I think for me and what's different in from everyone else's story here is that my ex was like totally blindsided and was like, "What do you mean? I'm so fucking happy."
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
Because I just imagined if I was this unhappy, they had to be too, right? Like they had to be.
I can relate to that, and I do still think that my ex, I don't think he was happy, but I think he was comfortable.
Yeah.
And I know he's going to end up listening to this at some point, and I want to be really careful what I say. I don't want to put words in his mouth. But I do think that he felt like this is it. This is my life. I've kind of dedicated myself to this at this point. He literally told me the day that I told him I'm going to move out. He was just like, "But I want to grow old with you." Which is a wonderful thought on a flowery level, but
On
I
any
just
other
looked-
day, that would have been lovely. Yeah.
But I just felt like, but you don't really want to grow old with me.
yeah.
You want to grow old with me in the room, sitting quietly with my hands clasped in my lap and not really causing too much trouble and like not disrupting things too much. Like you want kind of the status quo, and I just can't.
Right.
I just couldn't. And I think the hardest thing for me that was my big, turning point with him, and it's kind of, Lola, you reminded me of this with what you were saying, is just that one of my favorite things about myself is my outlook on the world. My whole life has been very optimistic, almost annoyingly optimistic. Like the worst scenario.
Same girl, same.
The worst scenario can pop up. Like I remember one time we broke down. We were out of town. We definitely could not afford to have our car towed and all these problems. And I looked at him and I was just like, well, at least we weren't on the freeway. Like I was just like, at least we're here on this little neighborhood street. Like that's better, But I could always find the bright side of everything. That was what I was losing. I was losing that one part of myself that I thought, I didn't have a lot of boundaries, but that became my boundary, was I can't lose this one part of myself that I love, that is that I see the best in everything. I don't want to lose that outlook. If that makes
A
sense.
lovely trait to have.
Yes, it is.
Can we just talk about boundaries for a second?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I didn't know what they were. What? You're allowed to have fucking boundaries? What? I remember when I was in this process of separation before the real separation, right? But like it was happening. We were going to therapy together. We were like trying to figure it out and make it work. And obviously we didn't. But somebody, a friend of mine, like nudged this like book towards me and was just like said nothing. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll read this book. And this book is called More Than Two, An Ethical Guide to Polyamory.
Ooh.
And I was like, what?
Had you told your friend that you were polyamorous?
I don't think I knew I was.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I knew the words.
Okay, yeah.
Or that was an option.
I see.
Right. And, I mean, I think I've always known this. Like, I've always like loved everyone. Like, I'm such a fucking lover, right? But anyway, so they just like pushed this towards me. And one of the first chapters was about, there were two really big chapters, and also just the whole idea of like what polyamory is, right? But one of the very two core things that still stick with me to this day of how I tried to live and what I've tried to grow and learn in this, after times, is boundaries. And the idea, like, I didn't even know you were allowed to have boundaries.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a powerful realization.
Yeah.
I went through the same thing, discovering
Yes.
that I was polyamorous.
Uh-huh.
That kind of, my therapist said, well, it's because you're polyamorous. And I'm like,
What?
Well, of course. What is that?
I'm sorry. What?
Say again.
And they said,
Interesting.
No, you're polyamorous, and explained it. And I'm like, so wait a minute. That's another title I got to tag on?
Right.
And she looked at me and smiled. She says, yes, Brad, you're a polyamorous switch, ABDL kinkster. What else do you want?
I love that.
I'm like, that's a lot.
That's a lot to put on a business card.
Yeah, I love that.
It's a long email signature, but
Boundaries.
Yeah.
You're allowed
That's
to
my
have
pass.
them.
You're allowed
That's
to
my
have
password. Nobody guesses it.
Love it. That's hilarious. And also what it looks like to create healthy boundaries within relation, right? That has been like kind of the most overarching thing that I've learned since separating in the last few years and being with you and being with my other partner and and even with my fucking family, just boundaries.
you're allowed to have them.
Valuable.
Yes. And the other thing I learned from that book was that I was a passive communicator. And now I am an active communicator.
So glad.
Yeah.
What does that mean to be an active communicator?
So it means that you, to me, like really personally, I don't know what like the, definition is exactly, but to me, I was always one who I like to make people happy and be agreeable and then be just secretly really fucking upset about whatever it is. But I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to talk about it. I might passive aggressively do something or sigh. My mother sighs a lot. I have also gotten that trait. But passively sighing.
Did you ever do any furious cleaning when you were upset? Because that was when I was
cleaning.
the cleanest when I was really upset.
Cleaning was actually like when I got to like escape, I would put in a podcast or I would put in fucking Linda Ronstadt and Carole King and let's go and clean,
That's great.
I don't even remember what we were talking about, but yes, that was, those are the two, boundaries and actively communicating are two things that I have brought with me now that have made me successful in this bouncing back part of my life.
I would guess too that those two, those are very adulting 501 skills.
Yeah.
That those will make you successful in most every part of your life.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Right. So there is kind of no going back in that sense, right? Because in my relationships and with you, like from day one, we have always been 100% honest. Right. And that is kind of a cornerstone of our relationship. And to both of us dive into polyamory and what that means and never having done that before. That's a really big part of why we've been successful. And that doesn't mean that there haven't been hard times and hard conversations or times where I'm like, fuck that shit up. But, I come and I talk to you about it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my one rule, right? I said the one thing that is most important to me
Yes.
is absolute honesty. And that was something I actually heard as a through line through everybody's story. Maybe it's the English major in me, but I was sitting here thinking of themes. And one of the themes is that there was a moment.
Oh, I love you. No, I love his story.
There was a moment that started with absolute honesty with oneself. Like if I'm being really honest, whether or not it was my spouse who broke it off with me or I broke it off with them or whatever, everybody had a moment where you had to be brutally honest with yourself. And that evolved into a brutally honest external self. Somebody who would show up to the world as you are.
Exactly.
Like ABDL kink or not,
Well, then
just as you are.
What's interesting about it for me is that by being more honest with myself about some of the things that maybe I keep more private in my daily life, but it has translated into career and other friendships and all those things where I'm able to be less passive, more assertive, more honest, not to be aggressive, but just to be more honest with everybody in my life in every way. It started with me being able to be more honest with myself that I just didn't feel like I could before. And so even though it came maybe from this kinky place and my therapist and whatever, it translated and helped all of these other parts of my life that were important and just as big and just as necessary. And I don't know that I could have ever achieved that if I couldn't have gotten all the way honest about all these other parts of myself with myself. That was that's the that is kind of the theme for me, is that I had to figure all of this out alone. I really did. And then it just made everything else better.
You all went through that period too of being alone and learning that being alone can be an incredible formative growth time for you.
It's pretty awesome, actually.
I know.
I love being around people, but having my own time and my own space, I revel in it.
Oh, yeah. I love that. Much like I think you were dating yourself, Elektra, and Bradley, you were going out and having all these really fun, experiences and just doing it. I told myself there were a couple of really important things that I wanted to do in that first year of, being fully separated. Was like, I want to live on my own, because I moved from my parents' house into my spouse's house the day I got married. So I had never, ever lived on my own. And I want to live on my own for at least a year. And the other thing was that I wanted to have a mad love affair with myself. And I wanted to say yes and just not censor what I said yes to, even if it sounded crazy. And the thing was like, of course, be safe and all of the things, be responsible, be safe. But what's awesome about doing it in your late 30s is that you can make good, bad choices.
Yeah, you sure can.
Yes, you can.
Yeah. And it's like, what's the worst that's going to happen? I already went through that fucking hell of breaking down my marriage, my life, my spouse who was so fucking happy, turns out they actually weren't. They had to do a little bit of work themselves too. And they came out as non-binary and asexual and, okay. So neither of us could really be ourselves in that marriage, right?
No.
Yeah.
What an amazing, you hate to say it, but in the long run, what a gift.
Yeah.
You were the first person. And I will say, to my first spouse, even though the way that the gift was given to me, I would love to change, at the time. She ended the relationship in a way that was very shocking to me. What a gift it ended up being, because I, much like some of the partners in this story, was just sort of planning to slowly get old and miserable, right?
Yeah.
We weren't going to grow. We were just going to grow old.
Yeah.
And we were just going to ride it based on my plans.
Yeah.
We were just going to do that forever because we were married and there was a kid. And she ended the relationship and forced me into my year of yes, where I learned all of this about myself.
Is that why you're resonant yes?
That's why I'm resonant yes, because
oh
of
my God.
that.
We've unearthed
that
an origin
choice.
story.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yes.
I had just turned 30. It was December of the year I turned 30, and I had to hit bottom. I had to go through a mourning period. It's not like the next morning I woke up and went, now I'm resonant yes.
That'd be hilarious.
Right? I had to drink my way through it for a while and then realize I was going to get fired at work if I keep doing that. And I'm going to be a bad parent, right? So then I had to figure out how to dry out and actually be good at these things, but also be alone and be a single parent.
Be a single parent, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And with a very young child.
Yes.
And then I had to realize, okay, I now am totally alone. I financially am more or less starting over. And the person who I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with is gone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So now what? Because of all those things, I was forced to reset. And that reset is one of the best gifts I've ever gotten. Hard as hell.
Very
but
hard.
I wasn't like you, Lola. I didn't step up to the plate and say I'm diminishing and therefore I'm going to shut this off. I said I could probably ride this out until I die. We all
You
watched,
may have.
many
You
of us
never
watched
know.
our parents do that too, right?
Well,
So we were
yeah.
like, it can be done. And
That's what I was going to do.
right, that was the plan.
Right.
And thank God she ended it because
Ditto.
it made me do all these things. So being alone is one of the best gifts I ever got. It just didn't feel like it at the
It's
time.
hard.
No, it's
It's
very
hard,
hard.
but
It-
yeah.
It took me a while to figure out how to be alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was always, for lack of a better term, the caregiver for everybody, and I would take care of everything. And so when it came time to take care of myself, it was like, what do I really need?
Yeah.
And then I figured it out, and it was a year. My divorce came through, and a year had gone past, and my ex-wife texts me. She says, "Hey, happy divorce anniversary."
Oh.
Just joking around, because that's the kind of relationship
You do
we
this
have.
too.
Yeah, we do
with-
this every
with
year.
your-
I'm
yeah,
still friends with
your-
my ex, and we celebrate
Yeah,
our divorce anniversary. Yeah,
So I text her, and I'm like, "Yay, hope you have a good whatever you're doing."
yeah.
So that day, I got up, I went out, and I went to a pawn shop, and I bought myself a black and red ring that I put on my my marriage finger. And the girl she says, "Oh, he's big plans." And I looked at it and I said, "You know what? I've been dating myself for about a year, and I think I'm the one."
Oh, that's so
what?
good.
I just got literal shivers.
God damn
That's
it, that's so
amazing,
good.
I says,
Bradley.
"I'm buying myself the ring that I need."
I love
That's so
that.
good.
I love,
I love
that.
that, Bradley. I'm still not at that place yet. I'm still very much going through the bouncing back part of this title
Yeah.
of this podcast.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
And it's changing all the time, but I love
Yeah.
that. I'm all over the map a lot of the time about if I ever want to meet someone again or if I want to be alone. But it's a very good, secure, wonderful feeling to know, like, I am 100% okay right now alone in this house. I mean,
Yep.
I'd be dead without my cat. Let me just tell you.
Of course.
To be
I
clear.
couldn't do life without him, period. But apart from him, I like knowing that I'm totally okay. So it totally shifts what any future partnership or anything looks like. Because before it just felt like, oh, well, I need to meet someone and I need to get married and I need to have kids
Yep.
and I need to do all the things. It doesn't
Yep.
look like that anymore.
Yeah.
No, you
My
choose
peace is
to do
very
that if you
valuable
like.
to me.
Yeah.
Right. Right. And yeah, that's a good point, Bradley. You can choose, like I have chosen to, live with my partner again.
Yep.
And this is happening.
But you've
and I'm
also
happy.
chosen to have another partner.
I
Somebody
have.
you don't live with and can go visit. And
Exactly.
that's all brand new and wonderful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't buy myself a ring, but I threw myself a 38th birthday party, I think it was, called Lola Fest. And it
Love it.
was wonderful. And it was like it wasn't my kink coming out, but it felt like it because I was just like, all the way out. And I had only people there that I was like, I knew I could literally do anything. And I mean, in fact,
Beautiful.
RY pissed on me in a cage, like literally anything.
I may have.
And we set
In a
up
room full of
consent and we
people.
set up boundaries and all of the things. We were very safe and good about it. But like and there were some people that were like, "Can I come?" And I'm like, "No." Because I had the 16 people or whatever it was.
Boundaries.
Exactly. And and that was like but like looking back at it, it almost felt like my wedding to myself in a way, like my commitment to myself and my kinks that like, this isn't going away.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
yeah.
This is who we are.
Yes.
I am holding on to that ring thing forever. Elektra,
love
when you're ready to
that.
propose to you, shoot us a picture. I can't wait to see it.
Absolutely.
That's so good. At the risk of sounding trite, like I need to eventually end this podcast, can I ask, is there anything that you guys would tell somebody who is staring at rock bottom right now? Is there anything, I mean, other than
Yes.
like, please stay alive, is there
Right.
any advice
Yeah.
that you would give them?
I do have advice for this because I still have to tell myself sometimes. And it's not great, but it's what I've got. When you feel at your absolute worst, everything is bleak and hopeless and whatever, what I would tell myself in those moments was, this time next year, everything will be completely different.
Yeah.
And it didn't mean that it would be better, because I really couldn't promise myself that. But it won't be exactly how you're feeling right this second. It's going to be different. I can't tell you how many times I have pulled myself out of a hole with that and got up the next morning and did the thing, just based on that alone. And I can tell you, based on where I was exactly 1 year ago today, about to go to court for the most like dreadful day of my life, my divorce hearing. There were times that I was in such bad shape that all I could do was narrate out loud what I was doing. I would be driving in my car and I would say, I am driving in my car and I am going to turn right on 8th Street and I am going to go to work. And I had to do that just to ground myself. But I would remind myself, everything will be different. And luckily for me, sometimes the different is better. Sometimes it's not great, but it's different. You won't stay right where you are right now. So hang on to that in those very dark and bleak moments, because it really does change. And all of that change gets you somewhere where you're trying to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good advice.
I feel like channeling our spiritual podcast, Father Mako, and saying, this too shall pass, right? Like
Yes.
the positive things will, the negative things will, but I guarantee it's going to change.
Yep.
That's really good. Bradley, do you have anything that you would tell somebody who is right now staring down the barrel of hitting bottom?
Well, it kind of echoes what Elektra said, but it's a piece of advice that my father gave me when I was at one of my lower points. He looked at me and he says, you know, boy, everything's temporary. And I said, what? He says, the way you're feeling right now, it's temporary. That beer you're drinking, it's temporary. The road you take home, it's temporary. Good times, bad times. It's all temporary. You just have to wait it out.
Your dad seems pretty cool.
He was the best.
Wow. That's really good. Just knowing it's temporary.
And that's gotten me through many a things.
Yeah.
Cars, TVs, homes, outfits, diapers, unless it's a trust.
Way to pull it back. I like it.
Gotta love a callback joke.
Love it.
Lola, how about you? Is there anything you would tell somebody who's looking down the barrel of hitting bottom right now?
Yeah. I'm going to like close my eyes and feel it in my body because, you know, being embodied is a big part of my story and journey too, right? And like in that, actually, I have another piece of advice after it, but in that very rock bottomest moment, telling yourself, I am enough and I am here and I am in my body, because like what else do you have in this life than your body and yourself? Like you are still there. You're solid and you are, I did tell this to myself, you are exactly where you're meant to be right now. And so take a breath and decide where you want to go next. That's what I told myself in those moments. And then another piece of advice is that no matter where you are, you always have a choice. It might be a really fucking difficult choice. It might be hard financially. It might be heartbreaking. It might be feeling like you're taking steps backwards. And there are so many good reasons to stay where you are. And I do not fault people at all. There are so many reasons to stay where you are. But if you're not happy, you don't have to be there.
Love that.
There's always another choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really good. That's really good.
What about you, RY?
Yeah, I think, well, of course, if somebody's really, really in crisis, I encourage them to reach out for help. Sometimes the lifeline that you need is a phone call to a stranger at 988, or it's a phone call to a friend that you haven't talked to in a long time, but you feel like you can spill your guts to. So really in that crisis point, that can be really helpful. But if you're not right there, you're just looking down the barrel of what might be rock bottom. I do think there is incredible value in being just ridiculously honest with yourself and admitting to the thing that you haven't said out loud that you need to say out loud. And sometimes that thing is really uncomfortable. You might end up saying something like, I hate who I am right now, or I screwed up my marriage, or I'm not proud of what I did, or whatever. But until you've said it out loud to yourself, and maybe several times, you can't move forward. And we all carry around, especially in situations where we're slowly letting ourselves dissolve, we carry around these half-truths that just never get spoken. And speaking them can be so powerful. Saying things to yourself like, I am never not going to have this kink. Just saying it out loud. Or, as you said that day, I know that I'm polyamorous. I am. Speaking those truths to yourself is a starting point. And only from that place can you begin to take action that recognizes those truths and in light of those truths. And it doesn't mean you have to say, okay, now I'm going to go hardcore into ABDL, or I'm leaving it forever, or like that's your decision.
Yeah.
But I do think there's incredible value in when you're hitting bottom and there's nowhere else to go, you're finally forced to say the things out loud to yourself that you probably needed to say a long time ago.
Yeah. And I would encourage you to actually say them out loud.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's a feeling of
Make
surrender.
them real.
Yeah. And only from that place of honesty and humility can you begin to be honest with your world. Only from that place of honesty with yourself can you set boundaries with others. And only from that place of honesty can you begin to love where you are so that you can eventually love where you're going and love others.
Yeah.
But it starts with that honesty. That would be my advice. Guys, we covered some heavy shit. Holy, wasn't this supposed to be a diaper podcast? Jesus.
What's going
Did we
on
even
around
say
here?
the word diaper?
Not
What
enough, I can tell
is
you that.
wrong? Do I need to show everyone my diaper right now?
Yeah, they won't see it on the podcast.
Yes, you do.
I sure would like that. Guys, this has been incredible. There's so much here. I'm so glad we split into the 2 episodes.
Yeah.
If folks wanted to connect with you, is that something you'd want? And if so, how should they reach out? Bradley, I'll ask you first.
Well, I'm Bradley on FetLife. That is the best way to find me. And I like making new friends and talking anything and everything. So, yep, shoot me a message on FetLife. It's just Bradley.
And I will give a big thumbs up to any conversation with Bradley. I had so much fun getting
It led
to
to
know you.
this.
Yeah, and
It's
it led to
amazing.
this. So
Love it.
This has been amazing.
Bradley,
I really
how
appreciate
did
it.
you get just Bradley on FetLife?
I know, right?
Good
You must
trick.
Be a very
What the
early
hell?
adopter.
I was a very, very early adopter
Yeah, that was
Nice.
because most of the people I make or friends I make now have about a few dashes, a couple
course.
Yeah, I have.
underscores, and all this other stuff.
Right.
And I'm very fortunate. Yeah.
Although you are a Bradley, not a Bradley. So
Bradly.
yeah. I don't know if that one would have gone first or second, but that's perfect. Elektra, how would folks get in touch with you?
Well, I'm electrified. And I think on FetLife, which I use very little, but I believe I have electrified locked down, and it's ELEKTRAFIDE on FetLife. But I really spend all my time on Tumblr. I just like that app. I like feeling like nobody really can find me there.
Yeah, same.
Nobody
Yep.
that I don't want to anyway. But on Tumblr,
That's
I
right.
am ELEKTRA FIDE. And I welcome
Yeah.
messages and all the things. And yeah, that's where I post my little diapered life.
In your closet.
Absolutely. Although now I've moved into this house that
I
doesn't
know.
have a big closet.
What?
Here,
What
I'm
will we
coming out of
do?
the closet, you guys. I have to be out
Armoire.
in the world now.
Yeah, what's going to be the new room? Is it a
You
garage,
have to just turn a
basement?
bedroom
What's
into a closet.
A
Well,
bedroom?
Here's
I mean,
the
come
thing.
on.
So yeah, the new casa, it does have a spare bedroom, and I am already
Nice.
the wheels are turning. I've already started
Nice.
thinking of ways to make the Go-Go Gadget nursery expand.
Nursery.
Yay.
Nursery.
Love
Actually,
it.
we're working on doing an episode
We
on
are.
how to turn your space into a nursery.
Yes.
Well, I would
So-
love to contribute to that because right now I
Me
am
too.
I am devising a changing table that when it's not a changing table, it's a crafting table. So
Love
it'll
it.
be very easy to explain away to the
Love
rest
it.
of the world.
That's so good. That's so good. Lola, folks want to get in touch with you. How would they do it?
I am Lola and then some on Tumblr, but the last O is a 0 because Tumblr. And and then I am Lola and then some on FedLife. So come find me there, friends.
That one is spelled normally with no zeros.
Correct.
Yeah. And please reach out to me and to Lola with questions or topics for the podcast that you'd like to hear. Teddy and Lola and I have already spent time lining up the first 6 months of the
I am
year with
so
topics.
proud of us. Like we actually lined up a whole
Yeah.
6 month. Like,
but
way
we
to go.
also did it knowing we're going to change it. So please
yeah.
submit your topics, and I
Yes,
guarantee
yes.
we'll pivot. The
Yeah.
best way to reach us is we have the Love and Brief Instagram handle. So it's just Love and Brief on Instagram. You can also, we frequently check the Love and Brief podcast group on FetLife. You can also reach out to me, Resonant Yes, on FetLife, Tumblr, or Instagram, all the same handle, Resonant Yes. Would love to hear from you. And if you do want to submit a question or a topic, that's awesome. I would also encourage you, if you like the podcast, please share it with others because we want to reach whoever could benefit. And give us a review on whatever your podcatcher is. Even if it's just a quick 5 stars with no comments, it does help us reach other people. So that's really helpful. But that's it. This has been our 2-parter on hitting bottom and bouncing back. Friends, anything else we want to share before we close?
You could do it, friends.
Thank you
Right?
so much for
Thank you
having
very
me.
much.
It's been a lot of fun. Talking with you
Absolutely.
guys.
It's been so
just
fun
one,
for us.
One last little thing,
Yeah.
if I may. If you are confident and out and about at a club or something, and you are in ABDL attire, and if you see somebody else in ABDL attire, go talk to them.
Yeah.
They might be there for their first time,
Yeah.
and this might be the bravest thing they've ever done, and are feeling quite alone. Go talk to them.
Yeah.
Love that.
Be the person you needed when you first started.
That's good.
I love that.
That's good. And if you are at a library at noon and you see somebody in ABDL attire, go hit them on the back of the head and be
And
like,
say, what are you doing? Don't
Get
do
it.
that.
Go away. All right, friends, that's it. This has been such a pleasure. Thank you for joining us for our 2-parter. And this has been another episode of Love in Brief.